Welcome back. Welcome to another edition of Nain Shorts. Taking a bit of a special break. For those of you who have been following along on the channel, Kali Conversation is taking a bit of a hiatus. We are.
Hiatus? What is that?
It's a break.
A break?
Yeah, we just took a break.
I thought we were getting high again. You know, you got in trouble for jail.
You know what? We're not going to go into the details of that right now. Okay? And
I just thought I'd mention it.
screw you for buying me those gummies afterwards.
There you go.
Anyways. But, what was the point we were talking about? Oh yeah, we stopped for a
We're
minute.
on a break.
And there's a reason behind it. We couldn't get too much into the details, but I do have Rick here, who is, I guess, the mastermind.
Yeah, over a year ago, I was asked to write a story.
A short story.
A short story. Yeah, which turned into a
Full story.
A full story. And that story has just been completed a couple of days ago. It's this. It's called The Bladed Mind.
Just kidding. It's
Inspired
just it's all blank pages. It's just the title.
Yeah. Inspired by true stories, written by me. We had to take a break because I needed to get this out. One of the cool things about this particular story is that we're going to try to turn it into a movie, right?
Mm-hmm. That is the goal.
That's the goal. There have been people that have been interested.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually had an offer to sell the story, and I said no.
No.
But the story is interesting because I like how you talk. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll let you.
Well, it's really a culmination of a lot of different people's stories.
Yep.
They're in the process of getting involved with this project. We've come across various groups of people that are doing great things in different communities. It is kind of eye-opening to see this great division between people, whether it's culturally, whether it's environmental, whether it's even medical. A big portion of this story is about children with Down syndrome. And there's a huge difference between saying children with Down syndrome versus Down syndrome children. He was yelled at by a bunch of moms when he was doing a focus group because he said it that way.
Yeah. Oh, and it was really nice because, you know, and I admittedly told him, look, this is something I don't know anything about. I want to bring it to light. I want people to understand that there are differences, and you don't just say, you know, the Down syndrome kid.
Right.
You know, it's not that. It's a child with Down syndrome.
It's a child with Down syndrome.
Right,
Because it's
and-
not their identity.
No, and there's nothing wrong with these kids that everybody thinks there are, right?
Nope.
They were born with an extra chromosome 21, and it can happen to anybody. There's over 7,000 a year that this happens to. You know, it's
Somebody's born with that. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
has a certain amount of percentage of being born
yeah.
with Down syndrome
And some
or a
people think
variation of it.
some people think it's the way they had sex or all these crazy things of notions about how they got it. Oh,
Nope.
it must have been you because you must have been. sleeping
God
around.
is punishing us for
Yeah.
all the jokes we made about disability. Yeah.
You know, so all of these things, and when I did the research, I found out some incredible things that I would have never even thought about, and even talking in the focus group, getting yelled at, you know, because I don't, you know, and I, like I said, I admit I don't know anything.
Well, no.
This is why we were having the focus group, so I could do the story some justice.
And that's, I think, the one of the best messages about the story is really bringing a lot of these issues into light, because it doesn't just affect the child. More often than not, the child is oftentimes blissfully unaware of the
Yeah.
differences.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's too apparent for them to ignore, but for the most part, they just are. And it's everyone else around them that gets affected, and
yeah, the parents,
who have
you know,
no idea what
yeah,
to do.
you don't sign up for that.
Nope.
You know, there's no manuals or anything.
Mhm.
You just, you know, you try to do as much research as you can,
Right.
and hopefully you're doing the right thing by this child.
Hopefully you get the right ones, because you could be doing too much and not letting them grow. You could not be doing enough and not dealing with the issues that could be dealt with a bit more carefully.
Right.
Because there are various things, from materials that they wear to, you know, lights, to sort of other things that could really affect the way that they process information, because that's all it really is. It's just a different way of processing information. This story dives into a lot of that idea, where it's the people around them and how they are now being affected by it, how they have to relearn their old habits to adjust to someone that
Yeah.
really doesn't know or even understands that there is anything wrong with them or
Right.
anything different.
Now, cool thing about this story is that that's not the only topic we touch on. One of the other topics, we have a lady in the Philippines by the name of Rodora, and she has a farm in the Philippines.
Sunflower farm. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
sunflower farm. Yeah, really crazy. But all her employees have some kind of disability, whether it's being in a wheelchair,
Missing a limb.
yeah, or autism, or even Down syndrome.
Down syndrome.
All of them are brought there, and they're hired by her because she wants to be able to give them something to do in life, and not just be stuck at home. If you consider that a good percentage of people in the Philippines have some kind of disabilities, and another good percentage of those people with those disabilities actually have abilities to be able to do stuff,
Right.
rather than just stay at home or not be given jobs or anything where they could actually do.
Right.
Well, that's going to help your society and your economy rise up if
Well,
you
yeah,
get
I
these
mean-
people into a job, or give them a trade to learn how to do things. And this is what Rodora has done. I'm just so inspired by her. When I had heard about her, I said I need to put this into a story form, to make a movie out of this. And this is where we're at. And lastly, one of the topics, because this is Nain Shorts, and we would be amiss if we didn't talk about the martial arts aspect of the film, right? So I'm gonna let you touch on that.
Well, it's a story that's been told before, definitely, but it is the vehicle that brings all these people together. But ultimately, it is a woman in a situation that she could not really help, that she was pretty much groomed into, let's say, and found the strength to get away through the birth of a child and making a life for herself,
And the birth of a
overcoming
child,
trauma.
the child has
Down syndrome, which is the part that really kind of pushed her for that change. It became that much more real, that she had to put that much effort into the child, and also protecting the child. So moving away, starting anew, coming to a different country
not
where
even just moving away, she had to run away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need to leave this guy, because he was a very abusive guy. And in that, she felt that her life and the child's life would be in danger, so she runs away.
the kind of man would not accept that child as his own. So of course, who would he take it out on? And that fear alone was enough to get her to take action, even to the point where she starts studying martial arts just to feel safer, just to feel like she can do something for herself and her child, and eventually culminating in having to do something, because I mean that is our greatest fear as martial artists, is having to use the things that we learn. But I think a greater fear is not having any of it and
Right.
still being in that situation. So it culminates in being able to take what you've learned, not just in the classroom, not just the martial arts, but all the other lessons that drove you there, that continue pushing you forward, and all the people involved, because it never really is just the one person.
And the fascinating thing about that is there are a lot of women out there who have been, assaulted, abused, and all these other things. And that first step is always the hardest one, to
Oh,
actually
yeah.
get involved in some kind of a, rape prevention, self-protection, self-defense, any of those things. It's hard for them to get up and get out there to do that. Usually it takes something very drastic to get them into.
Unfortunately, that's the case. We even had one time we were asked to do a self-defense class for women, and one of the young ladies broke down and had to step away because she was triggered. She was a victim of SA and a survivor, when she was there because she needed to help herself. But at the same time, I applauded all the other women that were there who didn't go through that, who are taking that initiative to say, I don't want to be a victim before I take action and do something for myself. But the fact that she did, even after she got or went through that traumatic experience, it says a lot about the character. And I think that's definitely shown here, and not just as this individual person or this individual character, but all women and all the things that they have to go through as single mothers, as just women in business, just women in general, in just the world itself, and all the issues that come about it. How do you overcome that if you don't have some sort of strong base? And Rick and I think we agree on this, that martial arts is one of those bases that could really help women find that
Well,
strength.
it's a beautiful
Yeah,
Lucy, come here. Lucy, come here.
because and many of the martial arts that still persist today were created by women, because it isn't about strength. You don't have the brute strength to just beat somebody down. So what do you have to do? You have to understand and learn. And what do we talk about on this show? It isn't about working out and getting physically stronger. It's about getting your mind to see things differently and understand things differently, so you can develop the mechanics, the ideologies, the concepts that are really going to keep you safe. And I think a lot of that really shows in this story. Not to mention, it's a kick-ass fight scene, bro.
Yeah, we've been working on it with our good friend Bob Gomez, Grandmaster Bob Gomez at Island Style Kaiju, right?
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's going to be a lot of fun, because you're not going to be expecting to see like those kung fu movies where one person does something. It's just a dirty,
as realistic as we can possibly make it, without actually sending somebody to the hospital.
That's right.
Because we always talk about like, oh yeah, we train for real life. Yeah, if you're not walking away with broken bones, a broken arm, dislocated shoulder, then you weren't really going
Full
real
bore,
life or full bore. Because let's face it, folks, that's a lawsuit, first of all. And second of all, you can't train anymore.
Yeah.
So, we train as realistic as possible, but we have to add that as realistic as possible without getting heavily injured.
Right.
So that's a caveat that as martial artists we do have to take responsibility for. Otherwise, people are walking out with broken arms, broken jaws, or just concussed to the hell where they have to be carried out. And no, we don't want that at all.
When I first started writing, it was simply just to write something, right? Because I write stories a lot, and the original draft, it was just an action movie. And, we got involved with a friend who was working with a bunch of kids with Down syndrome. And when I finally got to meet some of these kids, I was just like,
oh my God, that was so
Yeah.
eye-opening.
Yeah.
My eldest child was able to be involved and do some designing for some of these children at not a concert, it was a talent show. And to see, and not even kids, just people with Down syndrome, people with other neurological issues or differences, let's say, on stage, and you sort of just forget that there really is anything different about them. You see the same things you see with any other kids. You see the ones that want the extra attention. You see the ones that are a bit more reserved. You see the ones that are shy. You see the ones that are really out there because they want to give it their best, and everything just sort of melts away, and you just see people. And honestly, just being a part of that, being an audience in that was amazing. And we hope to portray that in this movie, where we just see people. We acknowledge the reality behind it when it comes to the family dynamics, the social dynamics, and also the kicking ass dynamic, because there will be some of that. But as real as possible, and maybe we can strip away some of those bad notions that we have.
And again, folks, this is just in the progress, trying to be done,
Keyword, anybody know
fingers
somebody?
crossed, yeah. We are going to need funding if anybody wants to donate into this film. It is something that has become really near and dear to my heart, because I do have a sister who has a child who is wheelchair bound and special needs, and all these things. And I tell you, just to see that, and he acts like nothing's wrong. This is just the way he lives. And you see that a lot with people with special needs. They're not trying to be, I need pity and all this stuff. It's not
the issue is everyone else.
Yeah, So I'm trying to raise awareness, I think,
more than anything,
with what this story is supposed to do, just to let people see, this is how the other parts of the world lives, and how these people are all taking it all in stride.
And I'll be the first to admit, it's the parts we ignore, folks.
Yep.
Because if it isn't in our lives, we tend not to care about it.
That's true.
But I think that we need to start, and this is a good step in the right direction. I've never seen Rick so focused on something. Seriously, we go back and forth. He does excerpts of the stories. Hey guys, what do you think about this? And we go through it and we critique. It's been a fun year, and to see him so passionate about it is actually really cool, because then he's not kicking my ass as often. So I get a break. Right. He does something he loves, and hopefully we can give you guys something worth watching.
So again, we're going to be putting out information out there for people who might want to donate and help us make this film a reality. I think it's something that needs to be done. I've been approached several times saying that, my child has this, or my kid has that. And not just the Down syndrome, but autism and all the other different
Everything on the spectrum.
Special needs kids. They have approached me and said, "Hey, this is a wonderful idea." People are handing me $20 right here. This is to help kids. And thank you for those.
Yes, every bit helps. It really does.
So if you want to help donate into this cause, we're going to put up some information on this, or you can reach out to me personally, and I'll let you know what this is all about. We are, like I said, in the process of meeting with people and trying to get grants and stuff. But every little helps, and if you want to help, this is a great way to do it.
But this is why we've been away from Colleague Conversations as long as we have. Now that we have a bit more time, we're more than happy to bring somebody on, do more Colleague Conversations.
So if you want to come on the show.
Yeah, definitely. As time permits. I know everyone's schedule's gotten a lot busier since COVID, so we'll make it happen. We'll do whatever we can on our end. We hope to talk to some of you, put you on camera, tell your story. Because really that's what Colleague Conversation is about. It's not the martial arts, it's the storytelling. It's getting to know one another. And we hope to continue doing that, not just with this movie, but also with more conversations to come.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. All right, any last words you'd like to say?
No, just, again, reach out to us if you think this is something you want to help out on.
Or you know somebody that might want to help?
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, almost everybody in the world knows somebody with, or knows somebody who knows somebody with, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's one of those things that...
My nephew.
Yeah. Even his brother-in-law in a wheelchair.
My brother-in-law is in a wheelchair.
Yeah. So, for this story, it talks about all these people. And the main focus of this story, as far as these people are concerned, is that these are people who are helping people with these needs, and they're not going to be recognized.
Real people.
Yeah.
Real people. Organizations. Yeah. These aren't made up. These are real people that we've talked to.
In the movies, they always tell you, based on a true story or inspired from. Well, this really is inspired from these people that,
are
our
doing
main
great
characters.
things.
And the people that she meets all along the ways that help her out and puts her in the right direction, right? So, really good story. And I have to say, because I'm biased.
Oh, incredibly so.
But even beyond that, it really is.
He is a pretty good writer, guys. I had to give it to him, but yeah, he's not just a good martial arts instructor. He's a pretty good writer too. Yep. But that's as much as I'm gonna say.
Richie, come here.
I'll go back to insulting him next episode. Don't worry about it. That's not going to change because there's enough to complain about. But till then, thank you folks for joining us on another Nain Short, a very special to us. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. To the next one. 3, 2, 1, cut!